Morning guys. Monday morning, just watched yesterday's White House stuff, etc. Bad news this morning, Boris is in hospital. That's a very serious issue for us over here. We've been a bit rudderless last week, clearly with him not being well. Quite where that leaves us this week is going to be interesting to watch. Right, I've got some sort of news update on what I think is happening in the States. I think this started to happen on Saturday, and it definitely happened yesterday. Donald has got the room. He's finally, we've cut down from 2-hour announcements. Today was really Sunday was nearer an hour. Finally, he has got the room. That kind of is it's kind of an inevitable thing, really, because the more and more you get closer and closer to real danger, you just cannot attack your leaders. It doesn't matter what they're doing, and that's true of every society. There's a sort of human nature element where you go, it's not right to attack someone who's trying to do something or other. The fact that it may be you may differ about whether you think it's done well or bad is kind of irrelevant, because you're just in a situation where you can't do it. It just doesn't work. And watching him yesterday, he did one thing, or he did several things a lot better than usual. He stuck to the script for 20 minutes, which is excellent. Remember back on Ali G Monday, which was about a month ago, where he turned up with a baseball hat and just went into some mountain of gibberish where he was just like some, I don't know, I can't think of any word to describe it other than drug addict on a weird trip, or someone having a mental episode. And then we had Gibberish Monday the week later. Slowly people are getting through to him, don't say any more, you don't need to say any more. So when he stuck to the script this morning, 20 minutes of script, that's cool. People are not going to ask the same question again and again, because he just is then able to shut them down. The fact that he hasn't answered the question becomes irrelevant, because in the people's mind, in our mind, we go, oh, why don't you shut the fuck up? You know, we all know all this stuff. We all know it hasn't been handled well. We can see what's going on. It's not relevant. Actually, what isn't relevant is to have 2 hours or an hour and a half of us having to listen to the same excuse, same propaganda again each day. So yesterday, really good. It got down to about an hour. That's fantastic, because to me it says he's got the room. Now, I've said I'm concerned about the markets this week. I don't think he's going to deck chair. To deck chair is the verb. It means to fold under pressure. I think he's got this one now, and even if the markets come back at him, I don't see him being the main cause of the problem. For those of you who don't like Donald Trump, and I don't have an opinion about him, I try not to have an opinion about very many people, because you just have to work out, how do people get into those positions? What are they representing about humanity that says, you know, this is what's electable, this isn't what's electable? I am a genuine floating voter, so my allegiances shift around depending on what the issues are. I don't find him problematic particularly. I think what's interesting is he's definitely sealed his re-election in this, because the only thing that can stop him getting re-elected now is coronavirus. And if he starts to listen to some of his own advice about social distancing and whatever, there may be a chance he doesn't get it. But the only good question actually asked at yesterday's press statement is, why aren't you guys practicing social distancing? Why are you all stood there like that? And it was interesting watching everyone squirm. You know, Donald can't keep out of the frame because he's got to control the narrative. So for health reasons, what they should do is stop this question and answer thing, because you're not getting any answers, and the questions will become less and less feeble, because you just cannot ask questions about what has gone wrong while it's still going wrong. you can't do it. It just is humanly impossible to do it. Everyone is turning off. They're going, no, and the more they turn off, the more they go, well, he must be right. Therefore, the more the questions become irrelevant. There is a time for questions about what's going on, but that's not now. So, two things. One, he's got the room. He was in control yesterday. You notice that by the time coming down from 2 hours to about 1 hour, quite a lot of which he didn't speak, or, thank God, he actually stuck to some form of script. Number two, he is going to get re-elected. Right? The only thing that was ever going to get in the way of Donald Trump getting re-elected was Donald Trump, and whether he blows it. And I can't see in this, even if we get like 250,000 dead, unless you get something like way off the scale, up in the 1.5 million. I just don't think there's any room for anyone to get in there and attack him. They're not going to be able to do that. So understand, he's got the room, he's in control, he is going to win the next re-election. Interesting side note, the tiger in the Bronx Zoo that got COVID-19. When I was walking down the canal yesterday, someone's dog ran up and jumped up at me, and I didn't stroke it or kick it away or whatever. But I was conscious of the fact that I didn't want to catch from a dog someone else's coronavirus. Everyone's, oh, I love the dog. It's just a bit like shaking hands with a brush or a cloth, and then someone else does it or whatever. I've not actually thought about the concept. We've all thought about the concept of where did coronavirus come from, i.e. bats and whatever in China, but we've not thought about whether we can transmit coronavirus to other species, which is quite interesting because if tigers can get it, why can't pets, why can't livestock? That's a interesting something on the side. Other than that, I don't think there's much to say today, which is a bloody great relief. Keeping it short. I'm going to take Donald's advice and cut it short. I'm off ski now. Good luck, Boris. Do want you to come through this. Take it easy.